I don't know about you guys, but I'm already sick of AI. And AI content has really only begun to emerge on social media platforms in a more significant way just quite recently. Yet all the comments I see on Instagram, for example, if I see a reel, a video, and I look at the comments, if there's AI in the video, most of the comments are people saying that they hate AI. They hate AI slop. And it pisses me off too, for some reason. For example, on Instagram, there's a lot of posts and videos where the description is actually written by AI. And usually the description doesn't even match the video. So you're watching the video and then if you check the description, it's complete nonsensical jargon. And it's been kind of cool to see that people spot AI content quite well. So that's a positive thing. I mean, there's been a couple of cases where I've looked at a video and I thought, is this AI? This could be AI. And then I look at the comments and somebody has pointed out how you can see that it is AI. So AI content is one thing, AI slop is one thing. But also in work life, I actually read just yesterday an article written by a programmer. And the programmer was saying that even though he gets more done, AI helps him to get more done in less time. But he actually feels more exhausted by it. And it was a little bit surprising to me, although it did make sense when I thought about it. So he said that in the past, he would spend more time programming and solving a specific problem related to that specific context. It was, for example, you have one specific project and it has a problem you need to solve. It has a feature you need to develop. And you could spend the whole day developing that one thing. You would only think about this problem and this feature, this one thing. But now, because you can get the thing done faster with AI, you have to move on to the next one. And then you have to move on to the next one. And it's not just the fact that you have to switch from one thing to another, which is taxing for our brains, but also the fact that programming without AI and programming while using AI, it feels different. When you use AI, it's more like you give it a prompt to give you code. And then you go through the code, you read through it and you check if it has mistakes or not. Whereas when you program without having AI, you actually think about what you are writing. You think about how you should write the code and what you should write. It's much more about problem solving, which is, fascinating and interesting, which is why programmers usually like doing programming, is they are problem solvers. I have a couple of friends who love programming because of that reason. But then when you use AI to generate code for you, it's not about problem solving anymore. It's not so interesting anymore. It can be even annoying. You're just reading code and it wasn't even your colleague making it. It was a freaking machine that generated it. And now you get to check if it's good enough. And it's not personal either anymore. I don't know if people care about that, but it's just something I thought about. Like, for example, in these YouTube videos, I actually used AI for over 6 months. And today is the first day in a long time, maybe even in a year, where I'm not using AI even for the title of the video. So I used to generate titles for my videos using AI tools for like the past year or so, because they actually got pretty good. And because titles on YouTube, as an example, they are these algorithmic. The titles are more about like pattern recognition and SEO, search engine optimization. So it kind of makes sense to use an AI tool to make a title, because the AI tools are able to scour the internet and look at trends and analytics and find the keywords. And that's why I think it kind of makes sense to use it. But I have just gotten so sick of AI recently that I decided I'm gonna try making videos again without using AI. And for the past 6 months or so, I was using ChatGPT, and I would always, use the voice feature to talk to it. And I would brainstorm my video ideas, the thumbnail overlay texts, the key points I should make in the video, how I should begin the video, etc. And guess what? It was not an easy pass to instant overnight success. Not that I thought it was gonna be, but I did think now that people are starting to use AI, I should also try to use AI and see if I could benefit from it, because I don't want to be left behind. But at the end of the day, AI still to this day hasn't really done anything for me, other than it's, fun to generate some funny images with and ask questions. It's better than Google in the sense that you can ask a question as if you were asking a person and it's going to give you an answer instead of you trying to go through articles and links, etc., based on what you typed into the Google search bar. So I think AI does have a place, AI does have its functions, but I do think AI fatigue is real and it's already happening. And it's gonna have an effect on how things evolve from here, I believe. And that's a good thing, because, for example, it always sucks when you think about how human creativity is being taken away. Like, I hate it so much. I hate to see AI art. Even though it's funny to, give a picture of your pet bunny or pet cat or whatever to AI and ask the AI to generate a cute cartoon version of them, that's funny and that's cool. But then when you look at how much AI art is out there, like on Instagram, for example, because it's pretty much the only social media platform I use, it's so full of AI. And I just feel sad when I see, you see cartoons or you see these sort of brands where you have a character and then you have a little story that's sharing an important lesson to you or teaching you a language even, or whatever it may be. And you can see immediately that it's generated with AI. And then you think about, imagine if this person actually was drawing all of these things themselves, if they actually made these things and were being artistic and creative. There's something that I can't really explain, because in theory, shouldn't we just be happy that more people are able to create content despite not being as talented as other people? Shouldn't that be kind of a good thing? Yet at the same time, whenever I see AI drawings or whatever, I just feel this weird sadness. I don't know, man. Let people know in the comments down below what you think, what's your experience. Are you sick of AI already? And what do you think is going to happen? Because that's the most interesting part, isn't it? All the big corporations are trying to push AI, especially, it makes us more productive, I guess. So, we become more productive workers and whatever. And there's money to be made, etc. Especially in the, AI girlfriend markets. That's going to be huge, I believe. It's going to grow and grow. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. People are probably not sick and not fed up with AI girlfriends, I would guess. But yeah, comment below what you think, what's going to happen. What I do know is going to happen with this channel of mine is that I am going to be making videos using a notebook and a pencil and my brain from now on. So no more brainstorming with ChatGPT. And I'm going to tell you this. When I made the notes for this video, I was basically writing down, I'm not going to show you my terrible handwriting here, but I basically started with, what does my video need to do to get views? Okay, it has to be a scroll stopper. It has to have a preview that's somewhat interesting. And then I wrote about the idea at large, like what is the topic I'm going to talk about? And then how much am I going to talk about myself? Because I talk too much about myself and I probably did again. And then it has to have relatability, so talk about AI slop. And what are the visuals gonna be like? I'm gonna have the notebook in the thumbnail probably, and etc, etc. But the point is, I wrote down what I want to do and what I want to achieve and how I'm gonna go about it. And it was actually so much fun. I was sitting on a couch. I have one couch in the corner of this gym of mine, and I was just sitting there with the notebook and the pencil, and I was just thinking. I didn't have my phone with me. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a screen. And I didn't realize that if instead of outsourcing my thinking to an AI, if instead of that, I actually just sit down and take a good old notebook and a pen or a pencil, and I think and I write, damn, was it fun and rewarding. And, there was so much less stress involved, because when I've talked with AI about what should I, do with my video, I've always felt so indecisive. I've asked the AI what would be the best title, what would be the best key points, what should I do to get more views but still stay authentic, etc. And it would give me, unlimited options. That's the thing. With AI, you can ask more and more and more, and you always just feel like I could make it better, I could ask more. And it's not coming from your head, from your brain. And there's something about that makes you more exhausted. It's weird, but you get this very long answer from the ChatGPT, and then you read the answer and you skim through, and it kind of becomes this behavior of scrolling, which you do all the time anyway on all these nonsensical apps. I feel like I lost creativity completely. Even though I was making videos and making the thumbnails, I didn't use AI generation for making pictures. But I felt like I've lost my creative self, and now I'm getting it back, and it's awesome. Yeah, I'm not gonna use AI anymore, and I'm gonna, make these videos a little bit different. So please consider liking this video. It boosts the algorithm and helps my channel. And consider subscribing if you want to see which direction this channel is gonna go now that I'm not gonna use AI anymore at all. Anyway, I think that's enough for today, and have a great day, have a great life, and see you. Bye bye.